I'm curious with you, I mean, you've obviously had this very successful film career, and you would look at your schedule and say, it's not all that accommodating to TV, and yet here you are, dove right into a broadcast drama.
Well, I didn't dive right in. We developed it for like 2.5 years, to get the script right, me and my producer. Because I hadn't seen anything in a long time where I felt like I was really doing something acting-wise, and I had a lot of things going on at the time, and I'm a mom, so I felt like taking this on, I already had like 2 full-time jobs, and I was taking on a 3rd full-time job, and so it was a big consideration.
I have a daughter, okay? Which means you have a daughter. Because that badge in your pocket, that makes us family. And we love that daughter. That daughter is beautiful and smart and talented, and she needs us. And that's how this works. From now on, until death do us part.
I had done 2-hour dramas earlier in my career, and I knew what the schedule was. And I remember how the dialogue and the hours and how fast the pace was. And this character, she's kind of always walking this tightrope, and she's always lying, and I just didn't even know what I was doing sometimes, and I knew that's what it was gonna be. We crafted the character to be that way, so it was very scary to think, okay, let me put this into my schedule. But then I thought, there is nothing film-wise that is as exciting as this will be for me as an artist and as an actress, so, F it. You can't curse, right?
You can, actually.
Okay. Fuck it.
What has been the most sort of overtly sexist things you guys have experienced?
I've always been fascinated about how much more well-behaved we have to be than men are. It was just always fascinating to me because I did get a moniker of being like a diva, which I never felt I deserved, which I don't deserve, because I've always been a hard worker, always on time, always, professional, and getting that label because you reach a certain amount of success.
And you care about something enough to
or
give your
voice
opinion.
Or even I always felt sometimes crippled to voice my opinion, especially, because with certain directors and the boys club that they form sometimes makes you feel like, oh, I can't say anything. And I was always very outspoken and very strong in certain situations, but I always was fascinated about how I could see somebody else being late or somebody else being belligerent to a crew, or whatever, and it being totally excited. Everybody's like, hey, how are you today? It's like, meanwhile, I would, show up 15 minutes late and be berated and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'll never happen again. There was traffic or whatever. And it was just like, we are not allowed to have certain opinions or be a certain way or be passionate, be even passionate about something. Like, I don't feel this is right or whatever. And be like, God, she's really
she's
difficult.
It's like, am I difficult?
What was your first splurge, your big purchase when you landed your first sort of breakout role?
I want to know what your first big splurge was. That character.
Was, I think I was driving a Honda hatchback that Keenan and Ivory Wayans had given me.
Oh, wow.
And I had been driving it to every audition and to everything. And when I think I just got a regular series, and I bought a car. I bought a Mercedes.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was a big, huge deal.
Because it was yours.
It wasn't a hatchback, it wasn't a Honda. And it was funny because he had passed it from me to Sean, his brother, and then to me. You know what I mean? Like, from him to
it's a good luck
all of us.
car.
Absolutely. I remember, though, that I was signing the lease to the car and I was breaking up with my boyfriend the same week. That's what I remember about it.
That's heavy.
So we were in the dealership and I was crying, but I was buying the car.
Well, then it was
he was
more
going
of
back
a statement of independence.
It became like a thing, like I'm gonna be on my own. He had been living with me and and I was like, okay. And we had been dating for like 10 years.
Wow, that's
And I was like, that's it. Hatchback is out and so are you.
It's like his boyfriend.
Terrible.
That hatchback.
It felt good, but I'm really sad about it too.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more videos from The Hollywood Reporter. What was your first splurge, your big purchase when you landed your first breakout role?
I want to know what your first big splurge was.